Butterflies. Hey, butterflies. So I was just sitting here reflecting on the aspect that over the course of your lifetime, you will run into a lot of people who will not be able to see your worth, or they will see your worth and they will still choose to not give you what you deserve. Because them choosing to give you what you deserve, it ignites an insecurity within them. Okay. And so this is something that I've gone through many times. So, for example, when I earned my doctorate, literally, I lost people. People stopped coming around. Instead of telling me congratulations, they just stopped coming around. I had some people who refused to call me doctor. And then I had some who try to belittle the education system. They started all of a sudden talking about how the education system is so horrible and da 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 da, da, like trying to belittle the work that I put in and did, right? And it made me notice or even remember that in this life, we're going to come across people who they're going to have a hard time expressing and seeing the value that is inside of you because your presence intimidates them. Um, a few months ago, I had to let go of a member in my school because I already had some questions on um, their respect for me and like the position and all that other jazz, right? So they're one of the people who never called me doctor or never called me doctress after I changed, right? Even when I mentioned it. And so we do group hypnotherapy and past life regression sessions inside of the school. And so when you're a member, you can sign up for one of the sessions or whatnot when they're hosted, like every month, every other month. And so this person signed up for the session and they came to the session late. Now they know that I don't do late because if you come in late, you're messing up the whole vibe of the space once I've started, so you won't get admitted. And so I let them know and, left it at that. Well, immediately after the session was over, I received an email for them that said, I know that you take time very serious and important, but my spirit guides told me to show up late. I don't understand why they did that. But since I did that, can I get a discount on what? So you want to punish me for something that you did, and then you showed me that you disrespected my time because if your spirit guides was in alignment with me, they wouldn't have told you to disrespect not only my time, but the other participants that was in that space. So that let me know that we were not in alignment. We were not on the same, you know what I'm saying, place. And so that day I told them, this is your last day in the school. Um, thank you for your time here, but I don't feel we're equally yoked basically in this space. And what I need us to understand is that you have to pay attention to the subtle things that people do. When people start bringing chaos or they intentionally have something chaotic to them in your energy, your spirit is telling you something about that. Your spirit is telling you that something is not quite right with this connection right here. Something is not quite right with this connection right here. And you got to pay attention to the small signs because it won't always be this big, extravagant, they did something behind your back. And this is how a lot of people end up in those really bad relationships. And they'd be like, I don't understand how it got this way because you wasn't paying attention to the signs in the beginning. You wasn't paying attention to the signs when they didn't take certain things serious about you, or when they laughed off certain things, or when they called you little random names that you said you didn't like, or it's the small things. It's always something small. So every time someone says that, they got with their partner and their partner was, did X, Y, and Z, the therapist in me knows that that wasn't the first time that they showed those signs. But the reality is that many people are not in tune with themselves or with their bodies to be able to pick up on it when it happens. Um, and a lot of that is because we've been socialized to not take what a lot of things some people do as being serious or not taking it as personal. Now, some things, they're not personal. It didn't happen. Oh, they're trying to do this just to hurt you, or they're not doing this just to intentionally do something to you, right? Cool. But a lot of times they knew what they did. They knew what they did. They knew what they did. Okay. Stop ignoring the small things, because those small things, just like a snowball, it eventually gets bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually till it gets to the point where you can't even pick it up now and throw it away. Okay. And this is how many people get stuck. This is how many people get stuck in abusive connections, relationships, all this other jazz, because they're afraid to be alone. They want to keep making excuses for why someone did something. Stop making excuses for people's behavior. Learn detachment. And I think part of the problem out there is that many of us have been given that fairy tale that there's this one magical person out there in the world for us. So when we find someone and we get attached to them, right? You get attached. You made it up in your mind that this is that person for you. You made it up in your mind that this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my what's the name. So now your brain doesn't want to let go. That's unhealthy attachment. There is not just one person out there in the world for us, y'all. It's not. It's a myth. That's something that's created as a part of capitalism to get you to buy more shit. The same way getting married and having children is a part of participating in the matrix. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong for doing it and all this other jazz. No, we all have our choices, right? But really see what's happening and what's going on. Okay. Be aware, be an active participant of what's really going on and the why behind it. So, because they push this American dream, get your husband and your wife, your two kids, your picket fence and a dog, your house. It's a part of a game. They're gaslighting you. They're manipulating us. Gaslighting and manipulating us into a system. We're going to be talking about that in my class that I'm teaching later on today. Gaslighting the matrix and truly understanding what's going on and mastering it and working through it, because many people are very oblivious to the signs of what goes on around us. So the same way of how people may find themselves in toxic abusive relationships, that's why we be in abusive toxic relationships with the government or with community or just with the world in general. As above, so below. It's all happening everywhere. So getting back into this, the small things add up. That small thing was not a mistake. It was not an accident. It was used to get you used to accepting it. It was used to get you to accept it. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Oh, I'm they knew what they were doing. They made an intentional decision to do what they did. And I want you to sit and think about this. Do you want someone around you who, when they make an intentional decision to do something, and in that intentional decision, it negatively affects you, and they knew it would have been a negative effect to you? Do you want that type of person around you? We've been raised to feel like being selfish is a bad thing. Being all about yourself is a bad thing. You're supposed to want to give. You're supposed to want to show up for other people. You're supposed to love everyone else. You're supposed to be giving, all this other. No, the fuck you're not. So you're telling me I worked all these years, got all these dang on student loans, sleepless nights by myself, no one helping me. I'm supposed to take all of that and this debt that I got to pay back for these student loans, right? And just give away everything for free to other people who have less than me? got me fucked up. That's not how the world works. But guess what? Someone who's still living in their trauma, they're going to fall for that. It's a part of the system. It's all trauma bonding. And this is something that I learned when I was working on my dissertation. So my dissertation was looking at special education teachers and their childhood trauma and looking at how it influenced their career decisions. And you know what I found from my research is that teachers be trauma bonding. Nurses, about half of them trauma bond. Basically, what I found from my research is that those who enter the social services sector, most of them enter it through a trauma bond. It's not a healthy bond. It's because they still have something inside of them that they're attached to with a trauma that happened to them. So it made them want to then go into this thing to help people, right? But the whole time they're supposed to be helping and healing themselves. So that's why then they get into this job, they be stressed out, they be depressed, they be unhappy, be upset because this isn't happening, being upset because this person ain't getting better, this because that was never your role in the first place. We were meant to be an example. And in that example, those who have it inside of them to make it happen, they will be ignited to make it happen. How many times have you went to help someone do something? You put in all this time and energy to help them and they still disappointed you. They didn't do it. They didn't wake up. They didn't show up. Had an instance where got somebody a job interview because they didn't have a job. Money was messed up. You think they went to the job interview? Oh, I overslept. I overslept. Excuse me? And my name was on that. Now, some people will take that as a stride. Oh, they overslept. No, everything is energy. As above, so below. Their energy is not aligned with yours. It wouldn't have been no oversleeping. There would have been multiple alarms, preparation. Okay? This person showed you that they lack discipline. They lack follow through. But then you have some people, they're gonna put they foot out there for that person again. And what I need y'all to understand, because some people's gonna come in here and they're gonna say, "Oh, that's so." I need you to understand. Poverty is generational for a reason. It's a part of the system. They tell you, be loyal to this, do that. It's your responsibility to help. So what does it do? Instead of you continuously elevating so that your next generation cannot be born into that, you're forced to stay back and help, and it's pulling you backwards. You can't get ahead. You can't get ahead. I strongly believe no one should be having children before the age of 35. No one should be having children before the age of 35. But guess what they do? They push it early because they know that your chances of making it out of your current situation of what you were in when you got pregnant at that point is going to be a smaller chance of you getting out of it. The younger you are, it's a smaller chance for you to get out of it. Versus when you're older, more established, you have more life wisdom. So what you're teaching your child for the next generation and not on survival energy. You're breaking a curse, a generational curse. Now, there will be some people here who will get triggered by me saying that because you may be one of the people who got caught in it. And this is not something to have you getting triggered. If you're triggered, check your fucking trauma. It has nothing to do with me because whatever we say and do should not trigger. Me saying that I'm happy I don't have children should not trigger someone who does have children. It's my choice, my life, and my reality. We can't be triggered by that energy because those same people who get caught up in that and getting triggered by what someone else is doing or their own feelings, they're the same ones accepting bullshit and trauma from somewhere else. In toxic relationships, can't keep this together, unhappy at home, always seeking for something and can't find it. So I made a post on my community tab. I made a couple posts yesterday, actually, because baby, I was on it. Okay, I was on it. Spirit was coming through with the messages because I see this so often. People be in the comments of, you know, oh, I did this and all I did was help and it left me because you were supposed to fucking do that shit in the first place. You need to realize that you were the problem. Most times, the people who are crying victim, they are also the problem. And until you can see that, I did not get past all of this shit and truly get into my healing, like full, I won't even say healing, healed era was until I took responsibility for my role and actions and how my trauma and experiences and programming allowed me to be in that situation. So I'm claiming being an empath and caring and supportive whole time. I'm codependent. I'm codependent. When you feel like it's your responsibility to help someone else or that other people's responsibility to help, you're codependent. There's a way to be interdependent in a healthy way, but you never want to be so codependent because when you're in that space, your mood is dependent upon those who you are connected to. It's easier to control you. Okay. So, what many don't realize is if you are the type of person who is always trying to help others or trying to heal everyone while you are suffering or going through it, and then feel hurt and upset when no one is there to help you when needed, you are suffering from codependency and need to work on becoming less codependent. The problem isn't the other people, it lies in why you took on the role and felt it was your responsibility to others when in reality you are supposed to give it to yourself. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save us. Soon as we get that out our head of, oh, I just got to meet this person to help this, or oh, if I got a provider man, or oh, if I got a good God fearing woman, or oh, if I, no one's coming to save you, baby. That's a spell that we've been under. Every generation been saying somebody coming to save them. Every generation been saying Jesus coming back. That is actually used to take away accountability from you doing the things that you know you need to do. It's for people who lack accountability. The sooner you realize no one is coming to save you, you'll start creating the space and learning what you need to learn to save yourself. If you have a phone and you can listen to all these damn videos on YouTube, you can figure out what you need to do for yourself too. You're not illiterate. You can do it. Okay? Many people grew up in a phase where they're used to being hand fed certain things. And this is something where I've had some issues with some people in my family where I had to separate because this is something that many people that get stuck on government assistance get stuck on, not realizing that the government is controlling you. They're now controlling you because you depend on them. So they put you in a situation that made you have to be able to depend on them. That's an abusive relationship. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't like to be called a tarot reader. I hate when people identify me as a tarot reader. 'Cause I'm so much more than that. So much more than that. I see myself as a spiritual conduit, a channel. Tarot is just one avenue, right? I'm a full channel. But I had to sit in that and be honest with myself on that and know that about myself before I can put the energy out there for others to see me in that same way. And what I need for us to understand, as soon as we get out of the aspect that our lover is going to change to be a better person for us, this is going to happen, our children is, soon as you get out of those expectations, you'll be able to live. Expectations kill a lot of dreams, kills a lot of futures, because we place these expectations on people, places, things, whatever the case is, and then we get disappointed when it doesn't happen how we wanted it to happen, right? Not realizing we're really just upset with ourselves. You're not really upset at that thing or that person. You're upset with yourself. You can lead horses to water, but you can't make them drink. Don't waste your time trying to lead horses with glued mouths shut to water. Focus on purifying your water. And then others who are purifying their water, they're going to meet you at the well. This is how we get back in alignment. We get back in alignment by doing the things that are aligned with the frequency that we're on or we desire, whatever the case is, and then allowing people, places, and things to meet us there. So, for example, the new people I've been meeting them through my new hobbies. As I'm in this expansive energy, new hobbies, I'm in new spaces, new places now. I'm meeting new people versus me having an expectation of someone who didn't start the class with me, who's not doing XYZ with me, of having the expectation of them caring about what I'm doing. Instead of me having that, I go around with other people who do care. We've been bamboozled, gaslit, lied to, but we're breaking out of that. It was something else I wanted to say, but my spirit just said keep to myself. I did my nails yesterday, but I think I'm gonna do different. I didn't realize it matched my green and yellow. I didn't even realize that wasn't even on purpose, y'all. That is funny. My couch is green and yellow. But oh, I need to water my money tree. Um, this season, see things for what they are, not what you want them to be. So if you were guided to this message, you are ready for the illusion to be wore off. You're ready for the illusion to fall off and away. I'm not here to just comfort people. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to help people elevate by me showing up as an example. So some may say I'm wrong because I'm not moved by people's sad stories. I have a sad story. My whole life is a fucking sad story. I healed that. I don't go around talking about my sad story all the time in comments and shit, right? Because I've healed from that. But to have people get upset with me because it seems like I don't care, don't like why? Like we need to really look at these things and see it's not other people's responsibility to help us and to heal and to get through certain things. It's not. Everybody go through shit. That may sound so bad, but everybody go through shit. What you're going through, I promise you somebody else still went through that shit too. So if you're gonna talk about it, talk about how you healed from it and got through it. So then other people could be motivated from you and your story to do the same thing versus sitting there just looking for a pity party to cry. I run away from people who are like that. I run away from people who are always complaining about not having this, not having that. This is gone. When this is, I run away from people who are like that. I don't want to hear that shit. What are you going to do to change it? What are you doing to change it? And if you're not doing anything to change it, then we're not equally yoked. So I stay away from people who always saying they bored. What you mean you bored? Baby, I be hearing my grandma voice all up in, what you mean you bored? Go in there and wash some walls. Read a book. Do a puzzle. Okay? What they say, idle hands, the devil's playground. Bored people will get you in trouble. Trust me, I got a record because of that shit. Bored people will get you in trouble. Okay? Take responsibility of yourself. Be around people who you're equally yoked with. Since I brought this up, shit, because I didn't get it erased from my record because, I was a teacher. So I took it as like I'm an example, right? So the one record that I got, child, it wasn't even because of me. I was with two people and they decided they wanted to steal and shit. And me being naive, home from Christmas break from my freshman year of college, they got caught up. So thankfully the judge, you know what I'm saying, when I went to court, he was just like, just do some community service or whatever. And, everything was good because I was basically, when you hang with the wrong people and energies, you get caught up in stuff. I had no business being with them. Once I left off to go to college, my frequency was different. Not realizing that there are people who are jealous of you and they want you to sabotage yourself. So every time I see that little misdemeanor, child, every time I see that little misdemeanor, I forgot all about it one day. I went to Canada. And so I had crossed the border from driving, because Canada's connected to Michigan. And so they stopped me and it was like they started asking me questions about it. Baby, I forgot all about it. Canada don't play. They do not play at the border. Do you hear me? But they let me, they let me come in. But because it wasn't nothing that was just like, you know what I'm saying? But that shit was hilarious because I totally forgot I had that. Totally forgot. Totally forgot. Dang, that's making me think about another RIP to my friend. Another time where you need to know who you're with. We went to Canada. Oh, Canada. I wasn't 21 yet, but I wanted to go to the casino and drink. And so in Canada, you could be 18 to do that. And so right across, the bridge in Detroit. And so we was going over into Windsor, right? We trying to come back. My friend can't come back. They detained him. You wanna know why? I found out he had a whole record from an amusement park that he worked at. It had a warrant out for his arrest. I didn't know all that was going on. I didn't even know that he was about that life. Our relationship was never the same after that. We still like conversed and things of that nature. He still came up, visited me in college and all that other jazz. Because he had a boyfriend that was up there too. And the friendship didn't end, but it shifted after that. Just because someone didn't do something to you, it's important to still know the character of a person. So if I have a man and all his friends cheat, So you mean to tell me that he don't? You mean to tell me that he don't? Bullshit. Because if he don't, he would have been holding his friends accountable, or he wouldn't be hanging with them anymore. And even in that sense, you choosing to continuously be around people who don't have high morals or integrity, who are deceptive, says a lot about you. Pay attention to even the small things. The small things matter. I love you all. I don't even know how to title this message. Um, I love you all. And as always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self and your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. Make sure you check out the link down below to the Gaslighting the Matrix class, links to personal sessions, membership in the Butterfly Effect School of Transformation, all that jazz. I love y'all. And as always be real. I already said it. I'm going to say it again. Always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what you or your higher self is calling for you to do. Period. I threw myself off by doing that, child. I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.